by Michael Jordan's record-setting performances, the Chicago Bulls grabbed the first two games in their opening round playoff series with Cleveland. The home court proved to be a charm. Chicago held all the cards, while the stunned Cavaliers found themselves headed toward a speedy elimination. With their backs pressed firmly against the wall, the Cleveland Cavaliers returned home facing a stiff challenge. But the youthful Cavs proved worthy of the task. With impressive balance and poise, they won the next two games, forcing today's showdown in a series where there's truly been no place like home. Chicago, the season is on the line for the Cavaliers and the Bulls. The winner moves on, the loser goes home. It's Game 5. And CBS Sports welcomes you to its coverage of the 1988 NBA playoffs. Game 5, first round, the Cleveland Cavaliers against the Chicago Bulls.
Central Arkansas, 6'7", number 33, Scottie Pippen. At forward from Virginia Union, 6'9", number 34, Charles Oakley. In the middle, from DePaul, 6'11", number 40, Dave Corzine. At guard from Michigan State, 6'2", number 11, Vincent. And at guard from North Carolina, 6'6", number 23, Michael Jordan.
It's happening here in Chicago Stadium. And the question is, can Michael Jordan do it for the Chicago Bulls today in the deciding game? Hello again, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton. Only 2 points separate these teams after 4 games. You already saw the fact that Scottie Pippen, the rookie from Central Arkansas, is starting in place of Brad Sellers. A big lineup change for the coach, Doug Collins, today. Cleveland against Chicago, teams of the future battling today. And this is what they're playing for, because the winner of this game will go against the survivor of Washington and Detroit in their Game 5, coming up later for most of you on CBS. Billy Cunningham, the home teams have won each game so far. We're in Chicago. Is there a burden on one or the other today?
Oh, yes, Dick. Chicago has the pressure on them. Now, Cleveland, Lenny Wilkens has told us to relax. Let's have some fun. No one expected us to be here. And they're a very confident team. They believe they should have won Game 1.
Michael Jordan has totally dominated the team's play. He has scored 55, 50, 38, and 44 points in this series. And look at what the rest of the top 8 have done. It's been a Michael Jordan show. The question is, what will Jordan do today, in your opinion?
Well, Chicago has gotten off very slow to start ball games. I think Jordan is going to either come out, look to establish something, or read how his teammates are doing. Are they being productive? And we'll have to wait and see.
And we're going to find that out quite early. And right now, as we get set for the start of Game 5, here are the starting lineups. Nance and Mike Sanders started forward for the Cavaliers. Brad Dougherty is in the middle, and Ron Harper and Mark Price are the guards for Lenny Wilkens, who won an NBA title at Seattle in 1979. Oakley, Pippen, and Corzine as Scottie Pippen starts at forward for the Bulls. A lineup change. Michael Jordan and Sam Vincent at guard, and the second youngest coach in the NBA, Doug Collins. This is the margin of victory for each game so far as we approach the deciding contest. So Scottie Pippen, who has picked up after a slow start in the series, gets the starting nod for Doug Collins. The Bulls are in white, the Cavaliers in blue are underway, and it's controlled by Cleveland. And here is Mark Price, who has been dynamite against the Bulls. Brad Dougherty with the first shot of the game misses. Sam Vincent, he'll handle the ball. He has slowed up a bit in the last couple of weeks, but he was one of the key reasons the Bulls came on toward the end of the year.
He's lost his aggressiveness, pushing the ball down the court.
He misses his first shot, and the rebound by Larry Nance. Dougherty. Price. Pippen is guarding Price right here. No one picked him up on a switch. Good rotation offensively, and Mike Sanders scores from the corner.
Now there's a young man, Mike Sanders, that they had no idea that he'd be a starter for this ball club when they made that trade for Larry Nance, and here he is being productive.
Corzine out of bounds. It's still Chicago ball. You're right about Mike Sanders. He was much more than a throw-in in that deal involving Nance. He's a 6th-year man and has been kind of a surprise. He scored a big basket with 14 seconds left in the last game.
Big factor to watch is the boards. In both games, the teams won. They dominated the boards.
Pippen misses and Dougherty the rebound. Dougherty was held down after game 1 and then has been the top rebounder for the Cavaliers since. Nance, baseline, 4-0.
Well, this game is taking on the same frame as the first 4 games have, where the Cleveland Cavs have gotten out quickly.
Jordan coming off the screen, hits his first shot of the game. Jordan needs 25 points to break Bernard King's record for most points in a 5-game series.
What pressure on a player knowing you have to come out and score 40 for your team to win?
Mark Price with his basket, and it was Price who scored 31 in game 3. Jordan gets it in good position to Pippen under the basket. Oakley lost it to Harper. Here's Ron Harper against Corzine. And it's an 8-2 Cavalier lead, and Collins calls a 20-second timeout. The quick starts by the Cavaliers, you talked about them. They're the biggest lead that the Cavaliers have had in each game. And overall in the first period, they have outscored the Chicago Bulls by 10 points.
And on that last play, we saw that Ron Harper, who had that sprained ankle and missed game 1, didn't look like he had any problems with the ankle.
What is Lenny Wilkens' approach with this team? He has been a coach for a long time. He's won a title. He's played for a championship. He's a low-key guy.
Very low-keyed. He's very demanding of his team, and I think he has his team very relaxed starting this ball game. This is a very young team out on the court, but they're playing to start this game with a great deal of poise. Their attack is they want a balanced offensive attack.
Wilkens thought his team should have won the first game. Does not seem to be afraid of the road. Jordan, who is 1 for 1. The rest of the Bulls are 0 for 3 so far. Oakley setting a screen for Jordan. Harper. Jordan in the middle. No basket. Offensive interference against the Bulls. So that basket won't count.
Well, Charles Oakley touched that, and it appeared that it was going to go in even if he didn't touch it.
The next time Chicago has the ball, I'd be interested to know what Cleveland's design is defensively against Jordan. No one really shuts him down, but they do have a plan. Nance shooting over Oakley, and it drops through, and the Cavaliers open up with an 8-point lead.
Now, what their plan is, they want to keep Jordan out of the middle. Again, we see earlier in the year when Vincent joined this ball club, they were pushing the ball down the court. Now they're coming down slow, running the set offense.
Corzine pops from outside, air ball. Nance, Cleveland is the poised team in the early going, and you're right, the pressure seems to be showing on the Bulls. Dougherty doesn't get the hoop, but he'll go to the line to shoot a pair.
Dick, you're so right. It looks like a very nervous, rattled team out here when we look at this Chicago Bulls team, to the point where Doug Collins didn't tell Scottie Pippen he was going to start him, yesterday, because he was afraid he wouldn't be able to sleep. He let him know just before the start of this ball game.
The other rookie, Horace Grant, comes into the ball game. He was a key in the first 3 games. Dougherty on the line. He had 13 rebounds in the second game of this series. Made the all-star team, and maybe a lot of people think he's the best passing center in the league.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. The only one you can look at is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in that passing area.
Who's older between the two, Dougherty or Kareem?
Do you realize Dougherty is 22, Kareem is what, 41?
Meanwhile, a 10-point lead taking the crowd out of the game early here for the Cavaliers. This is the 5th and deciding game. Scottie Pippen misses, Oakley and Jordan crash, and Dougherty. All 5 starters have scored for the Cavaliers. Ron Harper.
Just a little too cute on that move to the basket. Make sure you get the 2.
And Sam Vincent Vincent penetrates.
That's what Sam Vincent must do for Chicago to win. Be aggressive, either for himself or to find a teammate open.
And Oakley is called for the foul on Dougherty. We talk about the balance of the Cleveland Cavaliers, and we will after this replay.
Now, this is what we were talking about. Vincent taking it to the basket. Now, he had an option. He could have found Pippen, but he decided to shoot it himself.
Mark Price buries one from the corner. Other than Mike Sanders, who scored 8 points in Game 3, every one of Cleveland's starting 5 has been in double figures in this series. Oakley nearly lost the ball. Shot clock. Michael Jordan. Pippen crashing the offensive board, and the foul is called against the Cavaliers. Hugh Hollins and Earl Strom are the officials today. Tommy Nunez is the alternate, and that foul is on Larry Nance, who came over from Phoenix, and the Cavaliers struggled. They lost 14 of 25 when the trade was first made.
14 of 25, and the players and the media, everyone in the fans were questioning the deal. But then all of a sudden, they turned it around and were able to win 9 out of their last 11 ball games. And the big thing that Larry Nance has brought to this team is the defensive weak side help, coming over and blocking shots.
Harper commits the foul, and Horace Grant scores. So Vincent, Jordan, and Grant each have 2 points. Cleveland leading here with just under 8 minutes to go in the Price goes between 2 defenders, and Sanders hits the jumper. Mike Sanders, who's the second leading offensive rebounder on this team, has 4.
You have to give the credit to Mark Price beating that trap and finding the open man.
Scottie Pippen with a fake on Sanders. And a good move by Pippen, a very talented rookie. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the lineup for good next season.
I can picture Grant and Pippen being in the starting lineup for this club.
Grant Dougherty. Dougherty has 4. Nance and Sanders and Price all with 4. Good balance for Cleveland. Oakley hits the open shot. Talking to Michael Jordan before the game, he said, of all the people on this club, I want to see Oakley get some chance to score early.
When he does that, he's a more productive rebounder.
Dougherty with a short hook shot over Oakley.
And that's really a mismatch, Dick, inside, because we got someone 7'2", and we have a player 6'8".
Vincent misses outside, and it's last touched by Jordan and Grant, so it'll be Cavaliers ball, and Doug Collins calls a timeout. An impressive start for the Cleveland Cavaliers. You know, Billy, Charles Oakley loves to score a lot more and get a chance to shoot, and it seems that when he does score a lot of points, his rebounding totals go up, and that's what they really want from him.
And right there, they want him to do that, but right here is a big mismatch. We see Jordan coming to double team, but it's too late. There's no way Charles Oakley will be able to play defensively against Brad Dougherty. He's giving up too much in size and height, and Brad Dougherty is too good of an offensive center.
The Cleveland Cavaliers trying to become only the 3rd team to rally from an 0-2 deficit in a 5-game series to win. And the 7th team in history in all series. They're shooting 9 of 11 so far. Chicago is just barely over 40%.
Now, one thing's happened in the other games. Cleveland's got off to the good start, but the Bulls have come back.
Harper hits from outside. He exploded for 30 points to match his regular season high in Game 4. Cavaliers have made their possessions count, haven't they?
And we're talking about the best defensive ball club statistically in the NBA, in the Bulls.
Jordan in the middle, that's where the Cavs want him. Knocked away, great defense by Harper. And on the return from Dougherty, Harper is fouled and will shoot 2 as Sam Vincent and Harper go diving into the stanchion.
Number 11, Sam Vincent.
The one thing when you play Jordan, you notice how they're backing off defensively. They're saying to Jordan, beat us from the outside, but if you get to the middle, we're going to all be there to give some help, and they do converge, and Harper makes an excellent steal.
Corzine comes back in the ball game, and Charles Oakley sits down. Oakley has not corralled a rebound as of yet. He was the 2nd leading rebounder in the league this year, and here is Ron Harper He missed the first game because of a sprained ankle, and Lenny Wilkens said he didn't have his timing for game 2, but he's been a factor in the last 2 affairs.
You know what's impressive about Harper in that last ball game when he scored 30 is he's matched up defensively against Michael Jordan. And you know, the night before him, just before the game, all you're thinking about is how do I stop him? And in many cases, you forget about your own offensive game. He did not do that, and he hasn't done it so far today.
He missed the free throws, but the Cavaliers keep the ball. Double team on Nance. Dougherty. And Corzine the rebound. 22-10, Cleveland leading. 5:45 remaining in the first period. Dick Stockton and Bill Cunningham. Good play by Jordan. Great play to save it to Vincent. But the Cavaliers come out with it.
And that was the presence of Larry Nance intimidating Vincent on the drive.
Harper tried to force it inside, gets another chance and lays it in. You're right about Nance, because Doug Collins told us yesterday that the Cleveland Cavaliers used to be a soft team defensively in the middle. He said you could take it down the heart. No longer with Larry Nance in there. And another turnover. 3-on-2 Cleveland. Harper lays it in, and the Cavaliers are dominating the Chicago Bulls in a most decisive fashion. They have scored 8 in a row and have opened up a 16-point bulge.
And here's that steal by Sanders and the decision-making by Mark Price going in and getting it to Harper.
This team looks like they've been together for 10 years.
The one thing about passing in basketball, you must maintain eye contact between 2 players. We see here Pippen calling for the ball from Sam Vincent, but now he loses eye contact, and they create a turnover right here with Sanders denying the pass, and there's an easy steal. Is it a rookie mistake? They're just not in sync right now, the Chicago Bulls.
And it was the basket inside by Harper. So far, 4 turnovers by Chicago have resulted in 6 Cleveland points. The Cavaliers have yet to turn it over with just under 5 minutes remaining in the first period. Jordan off the screen, pick and roll into Corzine, and Corzine scores. Jordan is on Harper, and Corzine doubles him immediately, and a foul against Chicago.
Is Jordan curls around the good screen set by Corzine. The double team drops it off, and an easy jump hook shot for Corzine.
Foul was only the second team foul. It was against Michael Jordan. Dougherty setting a screen. Price so quick. Harper in traffic. Open was Nance. Tremendous offensive rotation for the Cavaliers.
Right, they swung it to one side of the court and had the ability and patience to come back to the other side in an easy 2 for Nance.
Tremendous shooting edge by the Cavaliers, and they certainly have spread it out. Jordan over Harper hits. Jordan's second basket of the game. He's 2 for 3, but a 14-point Cleveland lead. Harper leads them with 8. First turnover of the game by the Cavaliers. 4-on-3 break. Sparrow throws it away. Rory Sparrow in for Sam Vincent, threw it away. Price goes for 3. And Horace Grant into the hands of Jordan, who doesn't look pleased on his face. Gets stripped of the ball. Block inside by Pippen. Pippen had a shot blocked. Scores. Sanders blocked it at one end, and the basket by Harper, who's in double figure.
And not very often do you see a 7-2 center leading the fast break and making the pass.
30-14, the Cavaliers once again going off to the huge first period lead. Corzine short. Price pushing it up past Sparrow, draws the foul. He is tremendously quick. A lot of people thought he wouldn't be as quick when he came out of Georgia Tech. How wrong they were.
But not only that is that Cleveland this past year drafted a lead guard in Kevin Johnson out of California. They had no confidence in Mark Price, but he came into training camp this year and said, hey, this is my job, and allowed them the luxury of making that trade and getting Nance and Sanders.
The Bulls in the penalty. Price with the free throw. They also had John Bagley, and they almost made a trade for Jim Paxon, which was nullified because of an injury. There's Craig Elo, who's 6'7", and a man of many roles. He can play forward or guard, and he's come in replacing Ron Harper.
Well, the story so far is very simple. For Chicago at the offensive end, it's one pass, a shot, or a turnover. We're seeing Cleveland looking to push the ball, get the quick shot, or moving the ball.
Sparrow's wild shot. Corzine follows from the corner and misses, and it's put up by Horace Grant, but the Bulls aren't even coming close on most of their initial shots.
Not executing, not setting screens, no patience at the offensive end of the court.
.240 remaining in the first period. Price, good position for Brad Dougherty. Didn't get the hoop. Rory Sparrow, the veteran, started for a while when he joined the team. Jordan had a screen from Corzine. And here's Nance. Price already with 5 assists, looking for more. Off the foot of Sparrow, out of bounds. Last touch by the Cavaliers, and the Bulls with 2:14 to go and down 32-16, trying to get something going as John Hot Rod Williams, who's been the top offensive rebounder for the Cavaliers, has come in the ball game. Mike Sanders goes out of the ball game. Sparrow buries it. Under 2 minutes to go, first period.
Now in game 4, Chicago was down 18-19 points in the second half and were able to come back and take the lead even.
Price hits just from inside the three-point line. He has 8. Harper leads with 10, and the leading scorer, believe it or not, for the Bulls, Jordan and Grant, each with 4. Who expected Michael Jordan to have just 4 points with a minute and a half to go in the first period? Grant doubled. Nance, good position for the rebound.
Larry Nance hasn't been scoring much, but he's been in there blocking shots and getting the defensive boards.
5 rebounds for Larry Nance. D'Lo looking inside. Dougherty works up, and traveling called against Brad Dougherty. At the other end of the court, a fan has run onto the court, and while security people apprehend him, we'll have a short delay. We will not show it, and we'll wait for play to resume. 6 seconds, 1:05 showing in this period as Brad Dougherty goes to the bench. He has scored 6 points. Now we're ready.
Now Chicago's got to get themselves back into this game by making that extra pass offensively and becoming more aggressive defensively.
Brad Sellers has come in the ball game. Horace Grant hits the jumper. So right now, as Hot Rod Williams, Chris Dudley, the rookie from Yale at center, along with Nance and D'Lo. Mark Price remains in there. He's played all the way in this first period. Nance misses. D'Lo crashes the boards, and he's fouled inside. Chicago foul, and D'Lo will go to the line and shoot 2. The Bulls right now have a front court of Corzine, Grant, and Brad Sellers, who lost his starting job to Pippen today. And in the backcourt, it's Michael Jordan and Rory Sparrow.
And we see Doug Collins is scrambling, trying to find some kind of combination out here to ignite this ball club, and so far he has not been able to do it.
Jordan committed the personal, his second. John Paxon will come in and replace Jordan, who goes out with 4 points. Craig Elo, he started for Harper in game 1 and led the Cavaliers with 21 points. 1 out of 2 for Craig. Down by 15. Bulls. Two-man game. Corzine and Paxon double teamed. Illegal defense called against the Cavaliers. Craig Elo was the guilty party. That's the first one. That's a warning. Second time on Wilkens' crew will result in a technical foul as Charles Oakley returns to the lineup.
Well, Chicago, just one major stat is they haven't been to the free throw line to this point. It shows they're not taking the ball to the basket. They're not attacking, except for now the technical foul because of the illegal defense, but they're not doing anything aggressive going to the basket.
The rule, of course, to remind me and everyone else is that in the last 24 seconds, it's an automatic technical when you play the illegal defense. That's why he shot it, but that's a good point. They haven't gone to the line in the series. Oakley's 8 trips are second to Jordan. That's not a lot.
Forcing the perimeter shot and doing the job on the defensive glass.
Sparrow with 7 seconds to go hits the shot. Rory Sparrow has 4. Grant, the leading scorer, with 6. 5 seconds, Nance. And that'll do it. But once again, the story is the same. In the 5th and deciding game of the first round, Doug Collins' Bulls have to climb back against the upstart Cleveland Cavaliers.
CBS Sports coverage of the 1988 NBA playoffs is sponsored by Shopvac Wet Dry Vacuums. If it doesn't say Shopvac, keep shopping. Jeep Eagle, official vehicles of the NBA. And by Northwest Airlines, serving more than 220 cities in 20 countries on 3 continents.
The Cleveland Cavaliers with a 35-23 lead over the Chicago Bulls as we start the second period, as CBS Sports welcomes you to its coverage of the 1988 NBA playoffs. The story of the game, a great start by Cleveland, 68% to only 44 for Chicago. Michael Jordan has taken only 4 shots and hit 2. Ron Harper has led the way, and Lenny Wilkens couldn't have choreographed it any better before this game so far.
The thing about it is that Brad Dougherty missed 2 shots within 4 feet of the basket. Harper missed a layup. Very easily, these guys could be shooting closer to 80% from the field in that first period.
Cavaliers' biggest lead was 18, but the Bulls were on a 9-3 run to end the period. Let's see if it carries over into the second. Paxon and Sparrow at guard. Inside to Horace Grant, who has the shot blocked by John Williams, and a foul is called against the Cavaliers as he got Grant's hand. So Hot Rod Williams commits the foul, and Grant will shoot. He's up front along with Oakley and Brad Sellers. Cleveland with Elo at guard. Ron Harper has come back in, and up front it's Chris Dudley, the rookie from Yale, John Williams, and Mike Sanders. Michael Jordan getting a breather. He scored 50 points in the first game, 55 in the second. Grant misses both free throws. That's not going to keep your momentum going that way.
No, it sure isn't. Nothing has gone right to this point. Now they're coming out into a trap, the Bulls, trying to ignite themselves, get something going, maybe create a turnover and get out and run.
The shot clock, the 24-second clock is off, and Ron Harper turned around to talk to Earl Strom, and so we'll have a stoppage of play. One of the clocks, the one that the Cavaliers were shooting at, went off.
Well, wasn't that observant of Ron Harper, though, to be aware of the 24-second clock and know that, hey, it might be running down? And look, right up there, you know, they see there's 16 seconds on the 24-second clock. We see the trap. But the thing is that Harper has that presence to be aware of that 24-second clock, and he'll turn and let Earl Strom know about it.
It seemed to go off with 13 seconds remaining. It is off right now. Time is out. All 5 Cavaliers starters have scored. And it's still a problem with the clock that the Cavaliers are shooting at. Well, this deciding game going on here, the first of our doubleheader on CBS. In the second game, the 2 centers, Moses Malone and Bill Laimbeer, will battle it out. One of the matchups is Washington and Detroit. The home teams have won every game in that series. And out west, game 1 between the Utah Jazz, surprise winners against Portland. John Stockton has been a magician this year, and there's the man who invented the name, Irvin Johnson, for the Lakers, who finally get going after sweeping San Antonio in 3 straight. What are your thoughts about the Utah-Lakers series?
Well, I think it's going to be tough for Utah in their first game because of them playing and then having to travel to L.A. to really have the preparation for Frank Layden to have his team ready.
A kick ball. And a new 24-second clock. The crowd had anticipated a turnover in Bulls possession. Now the clock is working, and that's the time that the Cavaliers would have. Less than a minute gone by in the second period. Dick Stockton and Bill Cunningham. NBA playoffs heating up. Deciding game of the first round. John Williams going up and is fouled inside. What a tremendous front line the Cavaliers have with Nance, Sanders, and Dougherty, and they bring Williams in off the bench.
It really is something that the draft that they had 2 years ago has just been the key to this ball club, getting right as we see there, Brad Dougherty, and of course getting John Williams, who's on the foul line, Mark Price, Ron Harper. That's some way to build a franchise in 1 year.
And the trade with Phoenix. Michael Jordan back in the ball game, replacing Rory Sparrow. 12-point Cavalier lead. While the Bulls have fell behind in every game, they have come back. Including the dramatic comeback before they lost in Game 4, as Bill pointed out. Sellers. That's what Sellers does best. He's a 7-footer, won't go inside, but he's got that soft touch.
Well, the reason he was benched for 54 minutes, the last 54 minutes, he has not gotten a defensive rebound.
That's not good when you're 7 feet tall. Chris Dudley, the rookie from Yale. Rebound by Charles Oakley. Here come the Bulls. Jordan, open man. Grant. Timeout, Cleveland. Score, Cleveland leading 35-27, and the Bulls have rallied. And how have they done it?
Well, one thing is getting Michael Jordan the ball, and one way you can see Michael Jordan get free on the baseline is the back screen by Grant, allowing him to get that good position. But the next thing that Michael Jordan does is he finds an open teammate as Williams comes over to help, and there's Grant for the easy 2. Now, the play before, it's the same thing, a different shot, but Jordan finding the open man and them hitting the open shot, a big shot for Sellers. Is he able to come out and have a good game for this team off the bench?
That's the way the shots have gone. Distribution, a lot more balance for Chicago. Cleveland has been that way. Brad Dougherty has returned into the lineup. So up front, it's Dougherty, Williams, and Sanders. Harper and Price, the starting guards, also back. Good pass into Williams from Sanders. With 34 seconds left in the first quarter, Chicago led by 15. Or I should say, Cleveland led by 15, and then Chicago went on a 13-3 run before that last basket. Sellers. Jordan trying to keep it alive. He does to Oakley, who gets the hoop.
What the Bulls did the first 2 games in this series, dominate the boards. They need Charles Oakley in there on the glass.
8-point lead for Cleveland. Dougherty working in against Oakley. 8 on the shot clock. Good pass from Sanders to Dougherty. Oakley stays in bounds. Chance to cut it to 6 for the Bulls. The winner advances to the conference semifinals, best of 7 against the survivor of Washington and Detroit. That game coming up next is part of our NBA playoff doubleheader. Jordan. Oakley keeps it going, and Jordan inside against the Cavaliers, and Williams and Dougherty stopped them. They bodied him all the way, and Dougherty on the pass from Price fills the lane beautifully.
Well, John Williams just stood there, did not commit the foul, and that's one thing Lenny Wilkens said: we cannot allow Michael Jordan to get those 3-point plays. Either make sure he doesn't score the basket or don't foul him. Inside,
Jordan draws the foul. Oakley has 5 rebounds so far, and here's how he's done it.
Well, he didn't start out this ball game getting on the glass, but we see him anticipating the shot, having that good position, and then getting the 2 points. And there he is battling Dougherty on the defensive glass and making the outlet pass.
You're right. All of his rebounds have come here in the second period. No coincidence, certainly, that the Bulls have made their run. Jordan misses the first free throw.
But it's hard to figure. Why wouldn't you come out in the 5th game and really establish something early where he is so strong and so good on the glass?
Yesterday at practice in the suburbs of Chicago, after it was all over, Doug Collins took his team right under the hoop and talked about getting the position to get the rebounds and the ball. He said that would tell the story in this one. Rebounds just about even, as you saw moments ago. The Cavaliers lead by 9. John Paxson is on Price. They're staying with Price all the way. You won't see him open at all unless he gets free to the corner. Dougherty. Loose ball foul. Brad Dougherty commits the foul, and Jordan is limping coming up court.
I think his knee hits Brad Dougherty's knee as he comes over and gives that help. And that's what happened. Brad Dougherty should have just taken his time, got that position, and then exploded to the basket. He's missed a few very easy opportunities inside.
Second foul for Dougherty. Jordan, with a fake, goes to the hoop and draws another foul. He'll shoot 2. He's going to see a lot of physical contact because that's one of the strategies that Lenny Wilkens will use defensively against Michael.
Well, we see a different Bulls team this period. Now, all of a sudden, they're taking the ball to the basket. Now they're on the offensive glass. First period, we didn't see them doing any of these things.
John Williams with his second personal foul. Jordan going to the line has 5 points. Larry Nance replaces John Williams for the Cavaliers. They were 42-40 this year, 31-51 the year before. And they're just getting better.
Excellent balance on this ball club. That's the Cavaliers.
Michael Jordan's scoring output of the 4 games.
I don't know if you'd say that'd be the balance when you look at the Chicago Bulls, though.
No. The question is it one great man against one good team?
Well, if it's a tight game going into the 4th, that's what it will be.
Sanders. Mike Sanders with 6 points. Leading scorer for Cleveland is Harper with 10. Dougherty and Price each have 8. Grant's 8 leads Chicago. He's trying to post up against Nance as Jordan draws the foul. No doubt about the Bulls' strategy. They want Jordan to penetrate and draw fouls as Vincent returns into the game replacing Paxson.
Well, Sam Vincent, I don't think Doug Collins will wait very long this time when he's in the ball game. If he doesn't see Vincent doing what he wants, you know, after the Cavaliers score, he wants Vincent to look over to him and say, and he'll get the nod. Should he push the ball strong to the other end, looking for opportunities or run a set play? They haven't looked to run the ball, and that's when Vincent is an effective basketball player.
Michael Jordan is 3 for 5. He has as many misses today as he's had in all of this first round of the playoffs from the line. 41-33, the Cavaliers. Time remaining. Oakley getting a breather. He's been a horse in the second period. Harper. Nance. Lost it to Grant. Cleveland was careless that time. Bulls trying to take advantage to cut it to 6. And a foul against the Cavaliers. They are already into the penalty. Chicago's committed just 1 team foul so far in the period.
Now here's Jordan trying to penetrate. We see Harper stepping up on him, and that's not a good play by Harper. If anything, Lenny Wilkens wants Jordan to beat him from the perimeter. Don't go out and challenge him out there in that part of the court.
So Craig Elo comes in for Ron Harper, who goes out with his second personal foul. Harper, Dougherty, and John Williams each with 2. Jordan looking for his 10th point of the ball game, and most of them coming from the line.
We're seeing 2 young teams. Neither team is able to sustain anything for long periods of time. The Cavaliers start the ball game, doing the job on the defense, limiting the Bulls to 1 shot and getting out and running. They haven't run it all in this second period.
Timeout called by Cleveland. At one time, the Cavaliers were up by 18. You can see that the team that has had the rebounding edge has won each game. That's why this one is important. Doug Collins knows it as well as anyone. He says it'll be the key in this game as well.
Our guys have never been in a position to put a team away. We've been on the other side of the fence. And we've never been in a position to deliver the knockout punch. And now we're trying to get that done. And I think that they just came at us. They stormed us. They beat us up around the basket. Nance, John Williams, these guys flying over the top of us. And we just can't let that happen. That becomes just the will to want to go get the ball.
The rebounding is even so far. Oakley is the top man with 5 for Chicago, and Nance has 4 for Cleveland. But the Chicago Bulls, who staged the rally early in this period, their last 4 scores over the last 2.5 minutes have all been Jordan free throws, so they haven't been able to get a basket. And it's been Jordan and no one else. And for the Cavaliers, they only have 6 points themselves in this second period.
And they haven't been able to get to the foul line. They're not going inside and attacking this ball club. They're settling for the perimeter shot.
7:10 to go. Nance goes inside, so there's the first inside attack by the Cavaliers. The Bulls are there to repel it. And a chance now to cut the lead to 4. It's been the pattern in all the games of the series. Big leads have been dissolved in a hurry. And Georgia cuts it to 4.
Well, that's a great play coming out of the timeout by Doug Collins. Elo thought the screen was coming, and Jordan just went backdoor.
He's got 12, so an 18-point lead has been sliced to 4. And Nance goes up, no basket.
Here's Nance taking the ball to the basket. Jordan coming from the rear, and Corzine, that really converged on Nance and forced him to miss that shot.
Grant's second foul before the shot. Non-shooting. Only the second team foul on the Bulls. 6:25 remaining in the first half. Elo in a crowd as it's stripped away. It was Jordan and Vincent. Vincent loses it. Pippen. It wasn't pretty, but the Bulls are within 2.
It's the defense of the Bulls. Great pressure and not allowing any penetration.
This place is bananas. Elo, foul, the basket counts. A gutty basket by one of the great hustling players on the Cavaliers, Craig Elo, as Oakley returns to the ball game for the Chicago Bulls. What a way to silence this crowd. But just for a moment. Pippen's foul is his first. Third team foul on Chicago, and it's a 5-point game. Michael Jordan has scored 8 of the last 10 points for the Bulls. Took a tough pass from Oakley. It was a low bounce pass, but Jordan was quick. Good hands, and it's a 3-point game.
That was excellent communication between Oakley and Jordan, reading the back door, again, finding the open play.
Dougherty over Corzine. Jordan the rebound. The Bulls trail by 3. Pippen. Corzine crashes the offensive board. Feeds Jordan. Mark Price penetrating. Off the glass, comes right back. 10 points for Mark Price, but Michael Jordan has scored 12 points so far in the second period. 46-43. They double him, leaving Corzine open for the moment.
Chicago's on fire. Defensively, they're doing their job. We saw the double team and how quickly they swung that basketball. Now, who's going to show the leadership for the Cavaliers with this crowd going crazy here in Chicago?
Elo hit a 3-point basket just a moment ago, comes back for 2. He was with the Houston Rockets and played in an NBA Finals against the Boston Celtics. The Rockets were sorry they let him go, wanted him back. Cleveland picked it up to their benefit.
It sure was. This is a time with young ball clubs, you really learn a lot about them. Who has the ability to step forward?
Pippen. And he stepped on the line. No basket as Pippen on the great baseline drive was out of bounds.
Now he beats Dougherty down the baseline. Boy, that was a close call. I wasn't sure if he stepped out of bounds. It didn't look like he was.
It might have been his next foot that we didn't see. It wasn't the foot we saw. Earl Strom was right on it. Dougherty, second chance. And Brad Dougherty now with 10 points. So Dougherty, Harper, and Price all with 10 points in the game, and the Bulls call a timeout. 3:48 remaining in the first half.
Well, the Chicago defense has showed up at the game. 3:48 left in that ball game. We'll get you back to Chicago in just a moment. But as we often do about this time of day, here's what's coming up on the Prudential at the half. Of course, we'll update you on all the playoff action, and we'll preview our doubleheader. Most of you will see Game 5, Washington and Detroit. Others will see the opener of the Jazz and Lakers. It is Mother's Day. We spent some time with some superstars, moms, and the Giants and Redskins. No, this is not the NFL today. We're going to get you up to date on their basketball skills. Right where we always are, the Prudential at the half. Let's now go back to Dick and Billy in Chicago. Gentlemen.
All right, thank you very much, Pat. And Billy, Chicago's defense has been good, but it seems that when Jordan is scoring, the Bulls got back in. When he wasn't in the first period, they were way out of it.
Yeah, it seems to lift the team up, and spiritually, whatever, emotionally, at both ends of the court when he's out there scoring.
There's nothing really strange about the game of basketball in a lot of ways. If you put the ball in the basket, you're going to do it, and that may sound arcane and basic, but that's the case.
But how about two coaches trying to figure out, one, how do I get my team off to a good start, and the other one, Lenny Wilkens, how do I sustain it?
Jordan, good pass into Pippen. Once again, Cleveland's defense inside. Impressive to say the least. Elo forced it out of bounds. Chicago's ball. 50-45 the score. Cleveland had an 18-point lead, and the Bulls cut it down to a point. Rory Sparrow back in, 8-year veteran, whose playing time has increased in each succeeding first-round game against the Cavs.
Well, he has that experience of playoff basketball when he was with the New York Knickerbockers.
Jordan, in and out. Dougherty with another rebound. 6 for Dougherty. And a Chicago foul. That'll be their 4th team foul. Charles Oakley with his second. Chicago woeful 44% shooting. Has picked up the tempo thanks to Jordan in the second period, and Cleveland coming back down to earth a little bit. The Cavaliers have already weathered one storm on the road here in Game 5.
Yeah, they've showed a lot of poise over this last couple minutes, and there's a good pass.
Dougherty. 12 points for Brad Dougherty.
You know, when he came into the league, everyone said, oh, he might be too soft to play in the league, but do you know he hunts rattlesnakes? How can anyone be soft that hunts rattlesnakes?
Oh, no one. Pippen, baseline. Scottie Pippen, who impressed Lenny Wilkens. He said, I've got to play him with a guard because that's how quick he is up front. Winding down to 2 minutes to go in the first half. Elo, he has hit 7 big points. He has 8 in the ball game, but 7 came after the Chicago Bulls had made a great run.
But we have 2 players out here that were free agents that are on the court right now for this Cleveland team, and that's Craig Elo and Mike Sanders. And you have to tip your hat to people that have that type of courage and keep going after it.
Jordan will go to the line as Elo commits the foul. We're at Chicago Stadium, where they're rocking here, and a crowd upwards of 20,000 in the usual standing room up in the balcony. It's the 5th and deciding game of the NBA's Eastern Conference first-round matchup between the Chicago Bulls and the Cleveland Cavaliers. 2 teams who have a great future in this league, who play exciting basketball. Question is, can Michael Jordan, the great one-man gang, survive against the Cleveland Cavaliers with their balance? And the winner will face the Washington-Detroit winner, coming up later for most of you on CBS this afternoon.
And that series is just like this one. Both teams winning their games at home, so we'll have to wait and see. That'll be a battle there in Detroit.
18 points for Jordan. The lead is 5 and a foul. Jordan picks up his 3rd personal foul. Mike Sanders going to the hoop. 3 on Jordan. Mike Sanders. Lenny Wilkens said, I had no intention of starting him when he came here, has earned the berth, and he has stepped up in the playoffs in dramatic fashion. He went to UCLA and is in his 6th year. Finally getting a chance to play in the big time playoffs.
Well, the thing he adds to this ball club, he's a very good defensive ball player, and he can hit that open jump shot. And those are 2 things that Lenny Wilkens was able to see quickly, and he had to get him in good physical condition, and now he's playing the type of ball that allowed him to start now for this Cleveland ball club.
Corzine comes in for Jordan, who goes out with 3 personal fouls. He scored 18. We'll see what the Cavaliers do the rest of this period if Jordan stays out the rest of the half, leading by 6. Pippen and Sparrow make up the backcourt with Grant, Corzine, and Oakley. So we see a bit of Chicago's versatility with Scottie Pippen playing guard.
In for the Bulls, number 5,
As his career goes on, I think Scottie Pippen will be able to play 3 spots: lead guard, off guard, and the small forward position.
He goes out for John Paxson. Pippen has scored 6. 4 on the shot clock. Sparrow goes in. Nance didn't block it, but he made him think about it a bit. And with 1:10 to go, Price pulls up. Missed, just hit the front end of the rim. So since Jordan's gone out, there's been no scoring. Paxson misses a 3. Nance to the hoop. And the basket will not count. Lenny Wilkens off the bench as Larry Nance picks up his 3rd foul.
Now let's take a look. That's a close call.
Very close. Grant was kind of sliding with him.
Yeah, and with that angle, I couldn't tell exactly if he had that position. You can be moving to draw the charge as long as you have that good position.
Paxson misses. The Chicago Bulls have yet to hit a 3-point basket. They are 0 for 9 so far in this series. So you wonder why they're taking dead aim. Meanwhile, a loose ball foul called against Grant, his 3rd. So Horace Grant and Michael Jordan each with 3 fouls for Chicago. Nance has 3 for the Cavaliers. Pippen back.
in the lineup for Cleveland, number 11, Mike Sanders. In for the Bulls.
Dougherty on the line with 12 points and 6 rebounds. Acquired in a trade from the Philadelphia 76ers, and Roy Hinson was the man who went from Cleveland to Philadelphia.
And on to New Jersey. So I guess you'd have to say that it worked out pretty well for Cleveland.
To say the least.
Well, to win in the NBA and to get to the finals, you need the man in the middle. And they feel right here, and I agree, that they have someone that has the chance to lead them to a world championship in Cleveland.
That's a strong comment, but a lot of people around basketball would agree.
Hey, Brad Dougherty's 22 years old, and it's his 2nd year in the league, and he was an all-star.
Corzine. Oakley, the offensive rebound. 20 seconds to go, and Chicago can play for the last shot.
Now, Doug Collins going into halftime, I would feel that he has got to really jump on his team in that locker room, making sure that they don't come out and start the 3rd period in the same fashion they started this ball game, because it'll be all over for them.
Paxson with 3 seconds to go. Misses, and Pippen stuffs it through. Scottie Pippen with 1 second to go cuts it to 5. Cavaliers at one time had an 18-point lead. Chicago cut it down to 1 with Michael Jordan with a great second period, and that's the end of the first half. With the score, the Cavaliers 56, the Bulls 51. And Pat O'Brien will be back from Control Room 43 with the Prudential at the half after this message.
CBS Sports presents The Prudential at the half. Sponsored by The Prudential, offering a full range of insurance and other financial services.
And hi again, everybody. Welcome back to Control Room 43 on West 57th Street in Manhattan, headquarters for The Prudential at the half. Back in Chicago, the halftime score, Cleveland 56, Chicago 51. Michael Jordan had only 4 points in the first quarter, 14 in the second quarter, but he has 3 fouls. And there is the bouncing ball, and as you at the half veterans know, this means it is time to update you on the playoffs and remind you that as part of our doubleheader this afternoon, it's the Lakers opening up against Utah in the Western Conference semifinals, and most of you will see another Game 5, this one between the refuse-to-go-on-vacation Bullets and the hoping-to-send-them-on-their-way Pistons, that one from Detroit, where Tim Brandt and Billy Packer get to sit in the front row. Gentlemen?
All right, Pat, we're standing by for Game 5, the 5th and deciding game between Washington and Detroit at the very quiet Pontiac Silverdome, but we're expecting more than 20,000 here today. Tim Brandt and Billy Packer. Billy, it has been a very physical series. What can we expect today between these two?
I think more of the same, Tim. You have the type of bodies that like to take up a lot of ground on the inside, and they also don't mind going after each other. The series started in a physical nature, and I could expect that would resume today. Here you're going to see Darrell Walker coming from behind in the open court, pushing Rodman, and that started things early on in the series.
Then in Game 2, things heated up even more. Watch Mahorn grab a rebound here. Then Darrell Walker's on the floor, has the ball thrown at him.
One of the great catches in the history of sport this year, but you don't like to catch them flat on your back, Tim.
Can we expect that again today, that type of physical player? Now do they say, hey, this is Game 5, we're pros, let's sit back?
No, I don't think you'll see any sitting back at all. I think there'll be more physical play, and I think a lot of pressure on the Pistons. People expected them to advance maybe all the way to the finals this year, so they're playing at home, and this is a game in which it's pressure time for them and Isaiah Thomas as well.
All right, Billy, Isaiah Thomas is on the floor even as we speak, taking his shots. Game 5 coming up between Washington and Detroit. Right now, let's go to Los Angeles. Here's Brent and Tommy.
Well, Tim, a Game 5 at the Silverdome. Perhaps the Pistons and the Bullets know each other too well. But here we've got a Game 1, the Lakers and the Jazz. This is a learning process, not only for the players, but also the announcers. I haven't seen my partner, Tommy Heinsohn, concentrate like he is right now.
Well, you know, if you're going to be a real good analyst, you got to study all the moves that go on in this farm court. And I'll tell you, that's what I've been doing. Very important what's happening on this court right now. It is what I call the Lakers' sixth man. We see Frank Layden, the coach of the Utah Jazz over there. Frank, come here. Are you scouting the Lakers' sixth man over there?
I certainly am, and it's tough, Tommy. I can't get my team's concentration.
Yeah, well, what happens when you get in the huddle? Did the ball players lose their concentration on what you're saying?
No, I do.
Pat, there will be a game here this afternoon.
All right, Tommy, your mother's going to be ashamed of you. On this occasion, speaking of mothers, we visited some moms who you might want to thank for raising some of our favorite all-stars. That and more as At the Half rolls on in playoff gear after a commercial and a word from your local stations.
Happy Mother's Day from Wish TV, Channel 8.
Back inside Chicago Stadium where the Bulls were down by 18, now they are down by only 5 at the half. Well, it's Mother's Day, a time when we take time to say thank you, Mom. And this year, we took some time to visit some moms who brought us 3 special bundles of joy.
I love you. You're the greatest creature, greatest person on the face of the earth.
I call him Junior. You know, I always worked. And some days I come home and I'd be really, really tired. He would come and put his arms around me and say, well, Mommy, he said, you know, someday I'm going to grow up. I'm going to finish school, get a good job, and you won't have to work so hard. I think that was the thrilling moment of my life, you know.
Another son who has grown up to give us all thrills is Michael Jordan. And if you're looking for his mom, you can find her at the family store.
He shocks me. Sometimes I look at him and some of the things he does, I said, my God, I know he's human. I know he's mine. I know he's human. As a son, he's given me so many proud moments. And I guess the nicest thing is when he presented the gold medal from the U.S. Olympics around my neck. That's the moment that I can begin to talk about, and I'll end up crying.
Isaiah and his mom are a special team indeed.
Don't cry. Don't cry, be happy.
And she appreciates the way Isaiah has paid her back.
The nicest things he ever did for me, when he bought this house, when he bought me a fur coat, something I had never had, diamond ring, something I had never had. The most nicest thing to me He's a gentle and kind and loving son.
3 super sons, lads without guile. They send spirits soaring and do so with style. Towering o'er their peers, but always with a smile.
Do you get nervous when you watch him, Mrs. Thomas?
Honey, yes, indeed, I get nervous. Ooh, plenty nervous.
Only thing bothers me is when he goes down to the floor. And that really, you know, hurts my heart.
When he gets 28 points, I'll say, well, son, you had a bad night. And then I tell myself, are you crazy? The average guy only gets 23 and 25.
Talk to him a lot? Does he call when he's on the road?
Yes, he calls. If he makes about 3 or 4 days calling, then I'll call him and I tell him, my name is Mary Thomas, what is yours?
Hey, old lady, I miss you, I love you. Happy Mother's Day. Keep smiling.
That does make you smile. Happy Mother's Day. Well, the NFL season is only 4 months away, but here we are talking about the Giants and Redskins in May. Can this be possible? Football players on At the Half?
This ranks right up there with the NFC Championship game of 2 years ago.
So there they were, the last 2 Super Bowl champions doing battle last night for a charitable cause. As usual, the Redskins relied on their outside speed. The Giants relied on their linebackers, Carl Banks, Andy Hedden, and Pepper Johnson up front.
They got a lot of muscle out there. It's got to be the biggest linebackers I've ever seen. I've never seen them in regular clothes before. It's kind of frightening.
Getting to know you, getting to know about you.
It was a nice chance for a few old pals to get reacquainted.
I'm just glad we came out of it alive.
The Redskins went to the long ball and burned the Giants with a dozen three-pointers to win by 10. Pepper Johnson led the visitors with 28 points and 9 personal fouls.
They wasn't used to a guy about 6'3", 250 pounds gliding through there. How much?
And now we know why they play football. Well, time for Dick and Billy to go back to work. I'm Pat O'Brien. Thank you for joining us on the Prudential at the Half. Enjoy the second half here on CBS.
The Prudential at the Half has been sponsored by the Prudential, going above and beyond to meet your needs in insurance and other financial services. CBS Sports coverage of the 1988 NBA playoffs is sponsored by Miller Lite. For great taste, there's only one light beer. Nike, makers of Nike Air, a revolution in motion. And by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
56-51, the Cleveland Cavaliers lead the Chicago Bulls at halftime. The loser goes home and the winner moves on. And CBS Sports continues its coverage of the 1988 NBA playoffs. Billy Cunningham, one of the stories here is that Michael Jordan has 3 personal fouls, and wonder what Lenny Wilkens is thinking strategically that way as we go into the third period.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't come out and look to isolate Ron Harper against Michael Jordan, trying to pick up that 4th foul early in this third period. We'll just have to wait and see.
Jordan's really been a one-man gang for the Bulls as we take a look at the statistics. Cleveland is out shooting Chicago thanks to Harper, who's 5 of 6 from the field. Rebounding is the key. Remember that. And Chicago has had the edge on offensive rebounds, and they've made that count with second chance points. Jordan had 4 in the first quarter, 14 in the second quarter, and no wonder the Bulls came alive in the second. They were down by 18, cut it to 1, trailed by 5. Rory Sparrow starts in the backcourt for Chicago as the second half gets underway, and a loose ball foul against Charles Oakley with 15 seconds elapsed, and that'll be his 3rd personal foul. So Chicago starting Sparrow and Jordan, and Ron Harper shaken up. That's the sprained ankle that kept him out of the first game. He missed 24 games this year with a foot injury.
Now let's see if we can see where he hurts this ankle. He's trying to get that position on the boards. Hard to tell where, if someone stepped on him or not.
In any event, Craig Elo comes in for him, so that's a blow for the Cavaliers to lose Ron Harper early on. Hopefully he'll be back. Elo's done very well, though. Take nothing away from him. Mike Sanders misses the drive, but Cleveland's Dougherty still has it. Sanders from the corner hits. Mike Sanders is perfect today, 4 for 4 from the field, and the lead is 7.
Well, that takes a lot of pressure off Michael Jordan defensively now that Harper is out of the game and Elo is in.
Inside, Corzine from Oakley. Does that make my question to you at halftime a moot point?
It's a moot point.
Harper is going to the locker room to get retaped. We'll watch his return if he does come back. And in game 5, you have to think if he can walk, he'll play.
Yes.
Elo overthrows Dougherty, but a pushing foul on Corzine. Corzine with his second foul. 58-53. This is the 5th and deciding game of the first round. The winner will move on into the conference semifinals against the winner of Detroit-Washington coming up next for most of you. The loser, that'll do it for this season. So everything rides here. And they said that Sparrow was out of bounds. No basket. Earl Strom didn't see the call by Hugh Hollins that Sparrow had gone out of bounds, but great hustle anyway.
Well, what happens is Hugh Evans is down there on the baseline, and he has the ability to see that. That's just excellent communication with the officials, just on top of the play.
Hugh Evans, excuse me. Price. Drops for Mark Price. He has 12 points. Dougherty leads with 13. Oakley missing from outside. Oakley is on Nance. Elo spots up for a 3. And a loose ball foul called against the Cavaliers. It may be on Nance, and if it is, that'll be 4. And it is 4 on Larry Nance.
Now, we've seen an adjustment by Lenny Wilkens coming out in the second half. In the first half, they didn't double Michael Jordan when he touched the ball out in the wing. That last time, Price went over and doubled him immediately.
Sparrow coming around a screen. Any points they get from that other guard, other than Michael Jordan, will be gravy for the Bulls in the second half.
Well, it just what it does is it builds confidence in Sparrow, and then when they do double team Jordan, he'll find Sparrow, and he has the confidence to hit that open shot.
8-7 on the shot clock. Trying to draw the foul and succeeding is Mark Price. A very smart player is Mark Price.
Right here, I think he gets bailed out by the official. Sparrow has pretty good defensive position, and he ducks under. If anything, it could have been an offensive foul with Price getting his right elbow around Sparrow.
6 assists for Mark Price. Makes the first free throw, but the replay shows you're right. Looked like no foul. 62-55. Cleveland leading. More than 2.5 minutes gone by here in this third period. Dick Stockton and Bill Cunningham. Michael Jordan against the Cavaliers. That's basically what it's been coming into this one.
Excellent defense that time against Jordan, trying to get to the middle.
And Pippen draws the foul in the paint. Mike Sanders.
Now here's Jordan trying to get to the middle, and we see the good defense. Elo holding his position. Jordan just looking to swing the basketball. And there's Pippen able to duck, draw the foul.
Scottie Pippen was the 5th pick in the draft. Chicago really helped themselves with Grant number 10 and Pippen number 5.
You have to take your hat off to Doug Collins. He knew this player, Scottie Pippen, and why he didn't tell him he was going to start this ball game. You know, he waited till today, and he's responded very well to the starting role here in this 5th game.
He has 10 points, and the Cleveland lead cut to 5. Nance with 4 fouls, and the group of 3 for Chicago. Price coming off the screen. Mark Price, who has 16 points. He is the second leading scorer in the game to Jordan's 18 and has hit 6 of 8.
Well, they'll look for more offense from him, from Mark Price, with with Harper on the bench with that sprained ankle.
Losing it out of bounds. Pippen. Ron Harper still has not returned. Went to the dressing room to have his ankle taped. Elo, no foul called. He was
I can't believe no foul.
Sparrow feeding Jordan. Jordan's fouled, but Elo was undercut. Had his legs taken out from under by Charles Oakley.
Oh, you tell me, this is a bad call right here. No call. There's the ball. Elo has it, and he just gets clipped by Charles Oakley, and it ends up with Jordan now going to the foul line with 2 foul shots.
That's either a foul or 15 yards.
Probably both.
A break for the Bulls. Jordan hits the free throw, looking for his 20th point of the game. Elo flexing his knee.
And that would be a real problem for Lenny Wilkens if Craig Elo was hurt and wasn't able to continue.
Missed the second. Rebound Sanders. 6-point Cleveland lead. They stormed out in front, had an 18-point bulge early. Chicago cut it down. Sanders hits, and the Cavaliers have done a terrific job in keeping the Bulls at bay since their big spurt early in the second.
Yeah, and hitting these jump shots, Mark Price and Craig Elo will open up the inside for the 2 big men, John Williams and Brad Dougherty.
Oakley can't control it out of bounds. So the Bulls have turned it over 2 of the last 3 times they've had it, and the Cavaliers with a chance to raise it to 10.
Yeah, again, we see to start this 3rd period, this Bulls team coming out flat, not aggressive defensively.
Without Ron Harper.
That's right.
3-point shot is off by Price. Sparrow comes out with it. 7:40 remaining, 3rd period. The winner continues to play in the NBA playoffs. The loser packs it in. 1 game for everything here. Oakley, great feed to Michael Jordan. Great pass by Oakley.
Nice touch pass. Easy to handle.
21 for Michael Jordan, who had only 4 points in the 1st period. His team was down by 12. Double quickly on Dougherty, and Pippen gets it away from him. He's got Sparrow and Oakley. Oakley. Timeout, Cleveland. Bulls are on another rampage.
You know, you might think Michael Jordan just catches the ball and scores, but right here you see how hard he has to work to get that basketball. Mike Sanders just working his tail off at the defensive end of the court, and that good work and hard work by Jordan pays off with a great pass from Oakley. Now here's the penetration. Oakley finding the open man right there, and that's Jordan on that same play.
Ron Harper has come back in the lineup for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He was shaken up. His ankle was taped in the dressing room, and here he is back in there. With 6:48 remaining in the 3rd period, Jordan's guarding him. Sparrow all over Price. Chicago's tightened the defense. It's obvious. Harper, though, misses an open jumper, and Jordan doubled. Good defense by Harper to help Price.
Stopped him getting to the basket.
Sparrow in the corner. Oakley gets the ball. Pippen, no basket. And a foul called against the Cavaliers. 4th team foul, and it's Sanders with number 2 on Mike.
You know, if Charles Oakley would just be satisfied with just rebounding on the both ends of the court, making a few passes, and maybe averaging 14 points, he'd be a much better player than just always thinking too much at the offensive end of the court.
In the first 2 games, he was in double figures in scoring and rebounds. Oakley knocks it away, and last touch by Dougherty.
Now that was excellent defense by the Cavaliers. When Jordan catches the ball, they back off, force him to shoot the jump shot. That time he tried to get to the baseline, but they all collapsed.
Barely halfway through this 3rd period, Pippen, good fake on Sanders, hits the baseline shot. 12 for Scottie Pippen. Only 2 Bulls are in double figures. Jordan 21, and then Pippen with 12.
And Pippen is looking for his own shot. Something during the course of the year he lost confidence and didn't do that. And in a game like this, he's performing.
Sanders. Good defense by Pippen on Sanders inside. Chicago can come tie it up, and they do with Jordan. The first tie of the ball game. Chicago has never led. It's been an 18-point comeback for the Bulls. John Williams with the third basket for Cleveland in the last 5 minutes. They had gone a long way with great defense by Chicago, sparking their offense.
Well, that time they just rotated the ball with a double team on Dougherty and found the open man.
So Cavaliers break the tie with 5:04 to go, and Pippen. Rebound Dougherty. Harper in an open court. Good fake Sanders. Rod Williams, the best offensive rebounder, comes in and scores. And the Cavaliers have scored 4 straight points and a 20-second timeout called by Doug Collins of the Bulls. So Chicago ties it on Jordan's shot, and then Cavaliers take over.
Now we talk about adjustments for teams. Now we'll see the ball will go into Brad Dougherty, and now the double team coming from the weak side, and him finding that open man right there, and how they rotated right there to John Williams for the easy 2 basket. Now, earlier in the year, in this playoff series, they would double down from the nearest player. Now they're doubling from the weak side on Brad Dougherty.
Coming up next on CBS, Game 5, and we hope it's as exciting as this one. The Bullets against the Pistons in Detroit. Bernard King and Adrian Dantley, 2 great inside scorers, and out west, Utah against the LA Lakers. What are your thoughts on Washington and Detroit? That's been a tough series.
Tough series, and as Chuck Daly said, this Bullet team never played this hard until they got to the playoffs, and they have those veterans, and they know what a 5th game is all about.
Michael Jordan went right around Ron Harper, who got no help whatsoever inside. That's what Lenny Wilkens wanted help. It wasn't there.
Right. Cannot allow him to get to the basket. Only good things happen for the Bulls when he does that.
25 for Jordan. 21 since the first period. Sanders. Rebound Oakley. 9 rebounds for Charles Oakley, and Jordan overthrows Pippen, who winds up 4 rows into the press sector. Larry Nance with 4 fouls in the ball game. He has scored 6 points, but he is so important with the inner defense for the Cavaliers.
He is, and that shot blocking, as you mentioned, they have their 2 best on the court right now.
He gets the offensive rebound when Price missed, and Williams has the shot blocked.
Jordan got that one.
And Pippen can't hold on. So 2 fast break opportunities by the Bulls goes by the boards. So they can't take advantage of that good defense at one end.
And 2 bad passes by Michael Jordan.
Timeout, 3:45 remaining in the third. Two of the 4 most improved teams in the NBA are on this court today in the 5th game of their playoff series. And it's not by accident. Wayne Embry, who's become the general manager of the Cleveland Cavaliers the last couple of years and has built a great team. And
well, Wayne has said the only way I know how to build a team is, number 1, I need players with character, and the character is strength, and he's just done a great job with this team. And Jerry Krause, when he was hired here by Jerry Reinsdorf, he was working for the Chicago White Sox. A lot of people questioned that move, but the job he has done, you just have to tip your hat to Jerry Krause.
He has found some talent, and the complexions of these franchises who were languishing have dramatically increased. Harper inside against Jordan scores. So Ron Harper, getting his first basket since the first period, has 12. And it's 72-68. You've got to admire the Cavaliers. They're poised. 18-point lead cut to 1. Chicago tied it up, and then Cleveland scored 4 in a row to keep their lead and get the ball back on a turnover.
That's the 3rd turnover for Jordan.
in a row. Williams hits the jumper, so they're taking advantage of the turnovers, and it's a 6-point Cavalier lead. 3 minutes to go in the third period.
Well, Williams has really come off the bench in this third period and been a spark. He only had 2 points in the first half, but he's picked up a quick 6 here.
Corzine is posting up against Dougherty. Pippen and Jordan. Long-range shot Price. He anticipated. So Jordan in a mild slump for him, you might say. Dougherty, good defense by Corzine up front. See what the Bulls do with 2:25 to go as they walk it. Cavaliers have outscored them 8-2 since the game was tied at 66. Jordan is wide open. And Michael Jordan has broken the NBA record for most points in a 5-game series. He has 27, breaking Bernard King's mark set against the Detroit Pistons while in the uniform of the New York Knicks a couple of seasons ago.
Well, he's going to have to really break that for the Bulls here today.
Under 2 minutes to go in the third. 5 seconds to go on the clock. Nance, who's playing with 4 fouls. 6-point Cleveland lead again. When you consider how young the Cavaliers are, their poise is astounding.
There's 4 players on the court with a total of 8 years of NBA experience.
Not so for Corzine. He's been around a while.
That's right. He's the old man of this Bulls team. He's 32 years old.
The old man and the young man in the pivot. Steal Pippen. 2-on-1 with Sparrow. Pippen. A 2-point game. Boy, it doesn't take long for the complexion to change in this one. 14 for Scottie Pippen, second to Jordan's 25. Dougherty blocked by Jordan, out of bounds. Cleveland ball.
Now here's Mark Price making that pass. Pippen stepping in the passing lane. He does the first smart thing. He gets it to the lead guard, Sparrow, who delivers the easy 2.
John Paxon has come into the ball game replacing Sparrow. Scottie Pippen's going to be a star in this league.
He will be.
Harper, Nance to the hoop, and a Chicago foul. Their 4th team foul, but it may be shooting. Scottie Pippen, talented player, good defense, started the year and then seemed to lose a little bit of confidence, but he makes aggressive mistakes and no coach minds that.
No, both Grant and Pippen do the same thing out there, and Doug Collins says, hey, I can live with those things. When a guy's out there really working hard, we can correct those mistakes when someone gives the effort.
Pippen's foul was his 3rd.
Look at Doug, boy. Collins has got the tie down. See, he's looking at his notes right there, trying to figure what play he'd like to run with the combination of players in the ballgame.
He's trying to look like Rolly Massimino is what he's trying to do.
He's got to put a few pounds on that.
Under a minute to go in the third. 3-point lead Cleveland. Cavs led by 12 at the quarter. 5 at the half. Oakley gets his own rebound and draws the foul.
Well, Oakley got away with a little push there. As soon as he let that ball go, he knew he had missed it, and he just nudged Dudley and was able to get that good position inside.
Chris Dudley giving Dougherty a breather. Dudley beat all odds, a 4th-round draft pick to make the team. He has more offensive rebounds than defensive rebounds. And has been a welcome surprise. Dougherty on the bench right now with 13 points and 7 rebounds.
And when the trade was made and Mark West went to Phoenix, Dudley, who was playing the forward position, now was forced into the backup center position, and it's taken him a little while to adjust to that center position.
Sanders in for Dudley. Took a lot of guts for the Cavaliers to maybe give up a playoff year by making that trade. It hurt the chemistry, and a steal by Pippen. The Bulls lead for the first time in the game.
They're coming back with that trap. They're going to a 1-3-1 trap, and it rattled this Cav team that last time.
Listen to him here at the stadium.
Now, you got to remember, Michael Jordan is on the bench right now, and this team out here is trying to prove something that, hey, we're not a one-man show. We can play this game, too.
11 seconds to go, and another turnover. Vincent. And Pippen scores with 5 seconds to go. The Bulls are up by 3. They're on a 10-1 run.
And they don't know the clock was running out.
What a spurt by Chicago.
Here's that trap in Scottie Pippen. The one thing he has is that great anticipation. And what a move to the basket. And here's another steal. Sam Vincent pushing it down the court. And watch who comes in and taps it in. With no question, it's Scottie Pippen.
That's the end of the third period. The Bulls lead. The place is going wild. And we'll return after this message in a word from your local station. CBS Sports welcomes you again to the exciting 1988 NBA playoffs. After 3 periods of play, in which the winner will move on and the loser goes home. The deciding game of this first round, the Chicago Bulls outscored the Cavaliers 10-1 to take their first lead, and they did it with Michael Jordan on the bench. They have rallied from 18. Mike Sanders goes in and scores, and it's a 1-point game. We have talked about Cleveland's tremendous poise to withstand many rushes by the Bulls today, Billy. It'll be a test here in this fourth period to see how they respond now.
It sure has, and they came out and responded well that first time they saw the trap. But Lenny Wilkens is, when we asked him yesterday, what is the key for your ball club? He said turnovers, and we saw how it hurt them there.
Paxon hits a 2-point shot. 2 points for Paxon. He starts out at guard along with Jordan and Vincent. There are 3 guards. In fact, Jordan playing a forward position up front with Grant and Corzine. Michael Jordan playing forward here. He's guarding Sanders. Nance. Corzine clears. Cavaliers have Elo and Harper and Sanders, Dougherty back in there, and Nance up front. Home teams have won every game so far in this series. Paxon is open. And Dougherty clears. Scottie Pippen scored 10 points in that third period for Chicago, and Oakley grabbed a bunch of rebounds.
Yeah, the 2 keys for Chicago were Pippen and Oakley in that third period.
Nearly a bad pass, and they lose it. Dougherty careless. And Chicago takes over.
In the first half, Cleveland did an excellent job handling the basketball. They only had 7 turnovers. In this third and fourth period, they've been just turning it over on a regular basis, and passes that are careless. That's what hurts.
7 in the second half. A lot of that is due to the Bulls' pressure defense. They have turned it up a notch. Corzine, long range.
And what we're seeing is a Bulls team where everybody is in the flow now. Everyone is contributing. Michael Jordan doesn't have to carry the show right now.
Dougherty foul going up. In fact, Jordan has 6 assists, which indicates the fact that he is feeding other players to get the points. Timeout. 9:57 remaining in a thriller. Chicago leading. Two hungry teams. They're on the rise. With 2 minutes left in the third, Cleveland led by 6, and since then the Bulls have been on a 14-3 rush to take their biggest lead of the ball game with plenty of time remaining. Michael Jordan with 27 points, but it's been some other people getting into the act, and look at the shot distribution. That's a far cry from the way it's been. Look at Pippen with as many shots as Jordan so far.
And they've been good shots. In many cases, it's been Jordan making the pass, but in a lot of cases, it's been Pippen out in the open court. It's been Corzine doing something we haven't seen him do very much this year, down in the low post scoring.
Dougherty on the line. Chicago going with, in effect, 3 guards, although Michael Jordan playing the forward position. Dougherty with 15 points. Price leads with 16, and there are 4 players in double figures for Cleveland. .84-81 Chicago. Open in the corner is Sam Vincent. Price. Loose ball Sanders. Cavaliers have exhibited poise all day, but when you get into a close game in the 4th period with Jordan on the other club, poise may not do it for you.
Well, they're going to need that poise, though, but I think it's going to be the defense. Who is going to play the better defense?
Price with a 2-point basket.
Now we see this young ball club just bouncing right back. We've seen them. This is just like a real fight out here, you know. One round goes to one guy and the other guy comes back and he wins the next one.
Foul away from the ball. Mike Sanders with 3 fouls.
Now here's Jordan trying to post up. Mike Sanders trying to get around on him, but Jordan has that good position, makes himself nice and big and wide, and picks up the foul.
Vincent goes out of the game to cheers.
Well, Doug Collins did not wait. He missed that open jump shot, and he's going back to, you know, his veteran team.
Pippen gets his own rebound. Inside is Scottie. He's fouled and will shoot. Doug Collins will have Pippen, Grant, Jordan, and who else next year?
Well, I mentioned Pippen coming in and being a veteran. I guess he's proved himself to be a veteran the way he's performed today.
Mike Sanders with his 4th foul. Rory Sparrow getting set to check in, and he does for John Paxson. Scottie Pippen also has 4 rebounds today. Got the starting nod at the last minute. Was told the last minute in place of Brad Sellers. And the lead is 3. Winner of this game will face the survivor of Detroit and Washington, which comes up next for most of you on CBS in their 5th and deciding game of the 1st round of this Eastern Conference showdown. Nance doubled. Jordan stays with Harper. Loose ball. Harper didn't move. Pippen took the loose ball. Pippen keeps his balance. Great move by Scottie.
It's his tightrope walking act.
I want to see it again. Off a screen is Jordan. 29 for Jordan. Timeout, Cleveland.
Here's Pippen tiptoeing down the sideline, able to maintain that control, and it ends up to be 2 points on a jump shot by Michael Jordan.
On our way back to Chicago, I'm Pat O'Brien in New York Control Room 43 with a quick reminder that today is playoff doubleheader day on CBS Sports. And let's check in briefly at our 2nd game sites, beginning with Tim Brandt in Pontiac. Tim, you're on.
All right, Pat, and welcome to the Pontiac Silverdome, where we are expecting a Mother's Day crowd of more than 20,000 for this, the 5th and final game between the surprising Washington Bullets and the Detroit Pistons. Now, the winner of this game moves on to play the winner of the game you're watching, Cleveland and Chicago, and I have to believe it's the Pistons, not Washington, feeling the pressure of being extended. So, coming up, it's Game 5, Washington against the Pistons of Detroit. Right now, let's go to Los Angeles. Here's Brent Musburger. Brent?
All right, Tim, the 2nd series for the Los Angeles Lakers now as they set sail after back-to-back NBA championships. The Jazz, they are very confident. They think they're going to give the Lakers a battle. Their owner, Larry Miller, has come down here with the ball club. He is over there conferring with his general manager. First 2 games here in Los Angeles. Back to Chicago and Dick Stockton.
All right, Brent, thank you very much. So that's the menu coming up after our game. What a tremendous 1st round where 4 of the 8 matchups went to the deciding 5th game. And that's what we have here. Chicago leading by 5. Jordan's first points in the last 6 minutes, and the Bulls still outscored Cleveland by 12. Sanders with 13 points missing. Jordan inside draws the foul. Dick Stockton and Bill Cunningham here at Chicago Stadium. This place is rocking. As we promised you we'd have in the playoffs, the Chicago Bulls at one time down by 18 points, cut it to 1. Cleveland maintained the lead. They withstood several forays by Chicago, but the Bulls, with a late third period threat, have opened up an 89-83 lead as John Williams comes back in the ball game.
You know, Michael Jordan on his TV show last night, I think offered a challenge, as you mentioned, the crowd here, saying that in Richfield he thought that was the loudest crowd he had ever heard, and I think that the people here at the stadium took that as an insult and a challenge to prove him wrong.
The home teams have won all but one game in the Eastern Conference playoffs. That's when the Celtics beat the Knicks Friday night in New York. But a neat drive by Mark Price cuts Chicago's lead to 5, and Price with 20 leads the Cavaliers.
But we know this is Michael Jordan time, and the pressure really is on Ron Harper to try and keep him under control, trying to force some bad shots from Jordan.
Jordan gets it inside and loses it out of bounds. How are the Cavaliers playing him? I know he's got 30 and no one stops him. How would you grade Cleveland's defense of him today?
Excellent. I don't know if you can do a better job. They've kept their feet, had good defensive position, not allowing him to duck under as we saw in that last play. And I think Michael's a little frustrated right now.
Dougherty is fouled, and here is Michael on the other end.
Now here he is. You see the good position by Harper, and there's Nance coming over to give a little help. You know, you need a little bit of help from your friends when you're playing against someone like Jordan.
4 fouls on Scottie Pippen. And Dougherty with 15 points. 9 rebounds as well for Brad. He had 12 at halftime, so he has quieted down in the third period thanks to Chicago's inside defense. He misses both. He's 5 for 8 from the line. And the lead is still 5 for Chicago. Bulls trying to advance for the first time since 1981 when they beat the New York Knicks and then lost to Boston. Corzine. And now the pressure is on the Cleveland Cavaliers. They've got to make a move now, Billy. They're down by 7 points. There's a lot of time left, but they can't let this game get away. I would think at this point.
They have to show that poise and have patience offensively. Oh, what a shot by Ron Harper.
And he's fouled. So an acrobatic play by Ron Harper.
Now, explain this move to me. I don't know what you say about that. It's amazing he even knew where the basket was on this move to the basket.
Corzine picks up his 4th foul, and you can't blame him the way the whirling dervish was going, and Ron Harper looking for his 15th point of the game. He's got it. And it's a 4-point game, Chicago leading with 6.5 to go. Outstruck a big chord for the Cavaliers. Jordan. In the middle, hits 33 for Michael Jordan.
And that's where Harper has got to fight through screens. He's going to need a lot of help because every time down the court, from here on in, they're going to be going to Jordan. When we see the defense against Brad Dougherty, the double team.
And Harper inside gets the basket. I noticed that they had Pippen guarding Ron Harper that time down, and the lead is 4. Little more than halfway through this 4th period.
And here comes Jordan. He's going to be coming off the baseline screens now.
John Williams with the rebound. Oakley complaining to Earl Strom. Price tries to draw the foul. Nothing doing.
Out of control.
Pippen has it blocked by Nance, but still has it. 94-90 Chicago.
Now here's the value of a Rory Sparrow, that veteran who knows how to get the ball to Jordan.
Jordan loses it going in, but it's last touched by Nance.
I can't remember Michael Jordan losing the ball or making as many bad passes in a ball game as he has today.
He may say when it's over, win or lose, that it's one of the toughest games he's had to play. Here at Chicago Stadium, the 5th and deciding game of the Eastern first-round playoff between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls lead at 94-90 with 5:13 remaining in the fourth period. Cleveland had an 18-point lead in the first half. There's a timeout story. Each team has one foul to give. 5 seconds to get the shot off. Jordan. Nance, the rebound. Williams goes in and cuts the lead to 2 with 5 minutes to go. Double figures for Williams. Cavaliers have 5 men in doubles today. Chicago, though, has the rebounding edge. Keep in mind that has been the tale of the tape in the first 4 games. Whoever's gotten the rebounding edge has won. 9 on the clock. Pippen. Turnaround over Nance. Tough shot over Larry Nance.
Scottie Pippen is really stepping forward, and you see why he was a #1 pick for the Chicago Bulls this year.
22 points for Pippen. His season's high is 24. He's come on big as a rookie starting this crucial game. 8 on the shot clock. Harper with a runner off the glass. Rebound by Nance. Out of bounds, Chicago's ball, but the Bulls are playing very tough defensively. They're all over Cavalier shooters.
And both teams, their big people are going to the offense and defensive boards.
Michael Jordan hit only 2 of his first 6 from the field midway through the second period. Since then, 9 of 12 and 33 points. But Scottie Pippen has been the other man for the Bulls this afternoon.
Well, right now, he is the man, the way he's performed in this second half of this Chicago team.
96-92 Chicago, under 4 minutes. Price defending against Sparrow, and Corzine hits one. Corzine had been in a shooting slump, came into this game shooting only 29% against the Cavaliers. He is 5 for 5 in the second half. Price. Oakley, the rebound. Bulls by 6.
What we're seeing right now is more patience at the offensive end of the court. In the set offense by the Bulls, we're seeing the Cavs just taking that quick shot.
Nearly a steal by Price. He almost picked a Jordan pass off, and the 24-second clock expired.
It did, and the noise is so loud the officials couldn't hear it.
The 24-second clock had expired before the shot, and that basket should not count. The Bulls are celebrating to an 8-point lead at this point.
What we see up here on the 24-second clock, 2 seconds on the clock. Now here's Scottie Pippen taking the ball to the baseline to shoot it. What do we see before it leaves his hands? 0-0.
But the Bulls get a basket inside nonetheless by Scottie Pippen and lead by 8 with 2:59 to go. They have scored 6 in a row in the last 2 minutes.
You have to give those 2 points or the assist at least to this crowd here in Chicago.
Because you wouldn't have heard the horn. The buzzer. Williams looking inside. Now great drive inside and draws the foul. That is the 4th team foul on the Cavaliers. He'll shoot anyway. And John Williams, who is a 56% free throw shooter. Scottie Pippen picks up his 5th personal foul. 1 more and Pippen is gone.
Now the frustrating thing for Doug Collins sitting on the bench watching John Williams that last time take it to the basket strong and pick up the foul is that he goes right every time he touches the basketball. So he wanted his players to force him left. And you sit there as a coach and you think, goodness, this is the 5th game that we've seen the same thing.
1 and a 2 for Williams. Everything from now on is going to be critical in this game. The loser goes home, and Michael Jordan will have the ball in his hands. He's got 33 at 4 after the first period.
Now on this play, they'll try and keep Michael Jordan out of the middle.
Didn't matter. him out anywhere, it seems, right now.
Oh, this is his time of the game.
9-point lead, Chicago. 2:20 to go. Foul away from the ball, and they'll shoot this one. It's the 15th foul. Now what happened?
It's a foul on Scottie Pippen, and that's his 6th foul.
Pippen fouls out. That is the 5th foul against Chicago, and so the Cavaliers should shoot. Scottie Pippen matches his season's high of 24 points. Was told right before the game that he would start in place of Brad Sellers, and has responded dramatically here.
When Doug Collins told us yesterday that he was going to wait until the game time to tell him, I was very surprised. I would think he'd want the player to prepare himself mentally for that position, but he said, no, not with the rookie. I know this young man too well. He'll overreact, and he won't get one bit of sleep tonight.
He knew what he was doing with his man. Here's a timeout story. Cleveland with a trapped defense of their own, trailing by 7.
Again, the same thing. Jordan looking to go to the weak side. He's going to try and power the ball to the middle.
Stolen by Harper with 2 minutes to go. Price. And Sparrow takes him down. A lot of people may think that's a severe foul, but that's what you want to do. You don't want Price to get the shot off. When you're in the playoffs, you want to foul him, make sure there's no chance of a shot.
One of two choices. You let him go in for the layup, or you make sure there's no chance for a three-point play. Put a little pressure on Mark Price.
Sparrow made the right move.
Yes, he did.
But Price is one of the best free throw shooters. 5 for 5 in this game, and 23 out of 24 in the series. One of the best free throw shooters in the league, Mark Price.
And we'll see Cleveland come right back with the full court pressure, looking to trap, try to create a turnover.
5-point lead, 102-97. Oakley and Sparrow in the backcourt. 12 on the shot clock.
Plenty of time to go.
Knocked away by Harper out of bounds. 6 seconds, and they'll have 5 to try a shot.
Now, right now, Ron Harper should deny the basketball to Michael Jordan, force someone else to make that play.
Corzine to Jordan. Blocked by Nance, and they call the foul on Nance. And the Cavaliers are up in arms.
Now, Larry Nance was very upset with this call, and from our angle, it was tough to tell if he did get the ball or there was a foul with the body.
It is his 5th personal foul. 5 on Nance.
Now, Dave Corzine makes a great pass. Harper does deny the basketball. Larry goes to the basket. Little contact before he gets to that point, and then the block.
Jordan 11 of 14 from the line. 6-point lead with 1:35 to go. If you're looking ahead, the Cavaliers have the only 3-point baskets in this series, and all of them by Mark Price. He has 4. 7-point bulge.
And Rory Sparrow will just face guard Mark Price all over the court, trying not to allow him to get that 3-point shot, and they'll look for someone else to look for it.
Jordan has 37. And they call the foul. Jordan is upset. It's a shooting situation. Jordan's 4th foul, but Cleveland will shoot a pair.
Now here's the ball inside to Brad Dougherty. Looks like he steals it. Is that a makeup call? I wonder.
Something to consider, Bill.
And I'm sure both coaches are definitely considering it.
Dougherty is 5 for 8 from the free throw line. John Paxon has come in. And Jordan getting a breather. Check that, he's there. It's Paxon and Sparrow with Jordan, Corzine, and Oakley.
Reason for this is Doug Collins wants ball handlers in the ball game. So now basically he has 3 guards in there offensively.
1 out of 2 for Dougherty. 104-98. There's enough timeouts to this point for the Cavaliers. Price all over Sparrow. 7 on the shot clock. Sparrow way off the mark with a jumper, but Oakley gets the rebound, and Jordan. Dougherty clears outlets to Harper and throws it away.
Ron Harper should have caught that ball.
And he knows it. Big break. Big turnover. Shot clock. Jordan has it knocked away by Harper.
Watch him pull up for the 3.
Price with Paxon in his face hits the three-point shot, and it's 104-101. 33 seconds to go. Price hit it with Paxon in his face. 104-101. Chicago with 33 seconds remaining, and the question is, will this errant play, where Harper did not reach for it, ultimately do in the Cleveland Cavaliers' miracle try? The Chicago Bulls are 33 seconds from advancing to the next round. Doug Collins talked to us yesterday about what it would mean for his Bulls to do just that.
If I had a chance to start on a team that was terrible, and I also know what it's like to be eliminated, and it's the worst empty feeling in the world that you have is walking out knowing your season's over. And I want our players to feel what it's like to go on, to make that next step.
And I think this is a very important factor for another reason, because right now, even though they won 50 games, there's a lot of people that say if they don't advance, that it was a failure this season, and which is a terrible thing to say for a team that last year won 42 games and now have gone to 50, and you see the growth. But that's the fans, that's the writers, that's what they expect of this team.
Standing ovation for the Bulls. It's been 7 years since they've advanced past the first round. 3-point lead, Chicago, 33 seconds to go.
Time for Cleveland. They don't want to pick up a silly foul, and the best thing is to keep the ball out of Jordan's hands.
And if there's a foul, it'll be a shooting foul, wherever it is. Sparrow from the corner. Jordan tips it, no good. Oakley battles. They got a foul. Charles Oakley got the big rebound for Chicago, and Jordan is fouled by Price. It was Charles Oakley who did the dirty work inside and got the big rebound to keep it alive for Chicago to just about end the hopes of the Cleveland Cavaliers. But the free throws are critical here for Michael Jordan. He's 13 of 16 from the line and 37 points in the game.
That'll be the biggest rebound of Charles Oakley's career.
If he makes it, the Cavaliers will need 2 3-point baskets in 7 seconds to tie. Timeout. But the Bulls can start to celebrate. And the Cavaliers, to borrow a phrase, have nothing, simply nothing to be ashamed of.
Back in Control Room 43, New York City. We'll get you back to the Madhouse on Madison in a moment. We have a breaking sports story for you at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. It is in the 8th inning now, 4-0 Pittsburgh. Doug Drabeck has a no-hitter going now. Three Rivers Stadium, 4-0 now, Pittsburgh over San Diego. Coming up, the second game of our CBS Sports playoff doubleheader. Most of you will see the Washington Bullets and Detroit Pistons, Game 5 of their Eastern Conference opening round series. Elsewhere, you'll see the Lakers host the Utah Jazz to begin their Western Conference semifinals. Let's send you back to Chicago now, and Dick and Billy. Gentlemen.
There are a lot of heroes for the Chicago Bulls, even though Michael Jordan has 39 points. One is Charles Oakley, who has 18 rebounds, 7 off the offensive glass, including perhaps the one that saved the game or came close to it. Oakley had none in the first quarter. But Scottie Pippen has got to be the man of the hour, the rookie who got the starting chance today and has responded with 24 points and great all-around hustle. 7 seconds to go, no doubt here. They got to go for the three. Turn it over, and Doug Collins wants a timeout. Chicago calls time. They've got this game in their back pocket. The Bulls needed someone besides Michael Jordan to come through today, and they found him. Our Miller Lite player of the game is Scottie Pippen. That's what he did today, and Miller is proud to present a check for $1,000 to the Multiple Sclerosis Society on behalf of the rookie from Central Arkansas, Scottie Pippen. Horace Grant will inbound with 7 seconds to go.
If someone came up to me and said at this point, which team would you like to coach? Which, God forbid I ever did that again. But which team would I like to coach next year? I think it's Cleveland. To see how this team has played with 4 key players never getting into the playoffs before this year, and see how they perform, being down 2-0, coming back, winning the next 2 games, coming into this building, the way they perform, you just have to tip your hat to the players as well as Coach Lenny Wilkens.
There's no question that Lenny Wilkens has done a tremendous job with this team. He has coached them, he has cajoled them, he has brought them along, he has relaxed them. This team really has not shown any sense of panic or rushing things. They made a key turnover at the end of the game, but this is a team that seems together. Lenny Wilkens told us yesterday that other than coaching the World Championship in 1979, this year has been the most fun for him, seeing these kids and how they support each other.
They went through a stretch after the trade where they lost 13 out of 16 ball games, and he said the players were concerned with him that he wasn't getting down. I mean, it's just so much fun for him this year.
This is the last time we'll see the Cavaliers this year, but you'll be seeing a lot of them in the playoffs in the coming years. Price with 25 points led 5 double-figure scores for the Cleveland Cavaliers as the home team has prevailed in each of the 5 games of this series, and that also includes the rebounding edge. The Bulls had it today, and that's what Doug Collins said would be the key again.
And Doug Collins has got to be ecstatic, not only for the team winning, but how they won, how other people stepped forward. They had their run and got this lead with Michael Jordan sitting on the bench.
That was the key point of the game. Harper. Rebound, Oakley. That'll do it. The Bulls advance. Still play the winner of the Detroit-Washington game. And Michael Jordan with 39 points. The Bulls advance for the first time in 7 years. For Billy Cunningham, I'm Dick Stockton saying so long from Chicago Stadium. The Bulls beat the Cavs 107-101. Coming up next, some of you will see the deciding 5th game between the Bullets and Pistons. Others will see game 1 of the Western semis between the Utah Jazz and the LA Lakers. The NBA on CBS is a presentation of CBS Sports.